accept the bout with Rolly. I give him 200,000 cash if he beat Rolly. Now, once he lose to Rolly,
a rematch with Devin or vice versa?
Oh man, that's a good question. You know, whatever the fans want. They want me to, you know.
Ryan's performance, I mean, I think he should have had a tune-up fight in between, being out the ring for such a long time, and then having that time out the ring. I don't think he lives that champion's lifestyle. You know, so I mean, look, he's a lovely guy, don't get me wrong. I got a lot of time for Ryan, but I just feel like maybe this is a good wake-up call for him now, that he goes back to drawing board and he starts again, because he's still young. He's still got the hunger and the fire in his belly that he can go and win world titles again and be the #1. Look, in my opinion, he can be the #1 in the division. I thought that Devin Haney was going to lead that division. Then obviously when Ryan beat Devin, I thought, there's only two guys who I think will lead the division now. It's either Ryan Garcia or Teofimo Lopez. But then you've got Tank Davis as well, who's an amazing fighter. That division is amazing as a whole, you know what I mean? Look, there's some amazing fighters. And I think, honestly speaking, on a serious one here, I know that the Ring magazine is owned by His Excellency Turki Sheikh, but we should give another mix into this by adding in Tank Davis.
You think life is fair? Life ain't fair. But you got your ass handed to you. You got an ass beating. That's it, accept it, move on.
As the boxing world buzzes with reactions to Ryan Garcia's loss to Rolly Romero, Floyd Mayweather has also shared his reaction. Reacting to Ryan Garcia's loss, Floyd emphasized that Ryan is the same fighter who once showed up to spar with Rolly Romero but ran out of the gym. He also recalled offering Garcia a significant amount of money in the past to avoid fighting Rolly.
I'm not here to bash him, but this is the same fighter that came to the Mayweather boxing gym and boxed Rolly and ran out the gym. This is the same fighter.
Wow, you were there for that?
No, I wasn't there, but we got plenty of footage. So before you call out Devin Haney, before you call out the Lopez champion, before you call out Gervonta Tank Davis, get past Rolly first. And I gave him this offer a long time ago. He's ducking Rolly.
However, Canelo Alvarez expressed his condolences to Ryan Garcia over his loss. He emphasized that such outcomes are part of boxing and laughed off the speculation portraying the fight as a dangerous spectacle between the two. He also acknowledged that Garcia's one-year layoff likely played a role in the result.
I feel sorry for him. But he's boxing. He's boxing and you know, things happen.
Did you watch the fight?
Yeah, of course. It was the fight.
He was a good dancer.
Yeah.
Would you rather see him fight Haney again or Rolly again?
And you know, wherever. He's a good fighter. Just 1 year layoff. You know, he's hard.
Echoing similar sentiments, Ryan Garcia admitted that taking a year off had a significant impact on his performance. He acknowledged that he didn't feel grounded from the start of the fight and credited Rolly Romero for landing some strong, powerful shots, especially catching him cleanly in the second round.
Yeah, obviously it wasn't a good night for me. It's a pretty off night. You know, Rolly did what he does. Took a lot of good power shots, caught me in the second round. But just even in the start of the fight, it just didn't feel like my feet were under me, like I had anything. But you know, I tried to fight through it and just found myself very off after the year layoff. You know, that whole year, you know, it was a lot for me mentally, as you guys know. So the fact that I got here is, and I'm in the position I am, my mind is as clear as it is a victory for me, I would say. But I'm extremely disappointed in the way I fought, and it definitely isn't my best in any way. But thank you guys, and I want to thank my fans and everybody that stuck by me, even though we took an hour today. And the people that came to watch me, you know, a lot of love is out there for me, and I think people know my heart and know that I'll be back and better than ever.
Eddie Hearn also shared his astonishment, noting that the biggest payday of the year had been lost, as the chances for a rematch between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia are now gone. He commented that Ryan didn't seem prepared for the fight and appeared not to put in a genuine effort to win. Hearn pointed out that the early knockdown wasn't particularly heavy, but Ryan seemed content to let the fight slip away.
I can't believe it. I mean, I said, this kind of environment, like sometimes it can just, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean,
flabbergasted.
Ryan and Devin just dropped the bag like the biggest bag drop you've ever seen. I mean, you know, tonight was going to be those two in the ring facing off for the big rematch.
It's done?
Done. I can't believe it.
Is it Rolly versus Devin next?
About it. I mean, but listen, props to Rolly, but Ryan just didn't turn up at all. And you know, he didn't really try and win the fight, did he? I mean, I know he got buzzed early. It wasn't a really heavy knockdown, but he just let the fight pass him by. Crazy.
Teofimo also shared his reaction, praising Rolly Romero for an impressive performance. He highlighted that Rolly stuck to his game plan and followed his team's instructions effectively. Teofimo specifically acknowledged his own father, who had previously guided Rolly, noting that this guidance played a key role in the victory. He added that Rolly's execution delivered the biggest shock of Ryan's career.
No, I'm very happy for Rolly. You know, sad short shot for Ryan Garcia, but hey, look, you know, don't overlook anybody. And, you know, I think Rolly had a great game plan. He listened to his team very well, you know, and before he went to the event, my father told him, just keep your right hand up the whole night, you know, and that's it. You'll win the fight. And he did that. And he looked great.
Meanwhile, Tim Bradley didn't hold back in his reaction to Ryan Garcia's performance, claiming that Garcia isn't a real fighter. According to Bradley, Garcia failed to prepare properly for the bout, despite having an entire year to train. He criticized Garcia for delivering what he called one of the worst performances, saying that although the time was there, the effort and commitment clearly were not.
No, Ryan Garcia, same thing. Ryan Garcia ain't no true fighter. He's not no true fighter at all. It's so ironic, right? It's like how one didn't even train, or now I won't say train, but that whole year off, you had one that was rehabbing, the other one that didn't rehab, he put on the shit show too. Haney put on the shit show. Ryan put on the shit show as well, but Haney was supposed to be going back to the drawing board, getting better. Did you think he got better? Absolutely not.
Mosley to the team, all that stuff.
Just because you add a Hall of Famer to your team don't make it's gonna make you better. I promise you that. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes, look, sometimes coaches, you don't have to be a Hall of Famer to be a good coach, man.
Tim continued his criticism by stating that he saw no improvement in Ryan Garcia's performance. He slammed Garcia for constantly moving around the ring without standing his ground and for failing to land any meaningful punches during the fight. Bradley suggested that Garcia is only in the sport for the money and claimed that he never truly wanted a rematch with Devin Haney.
He crazy. I'm like, yo, settle your feet down, bro, and grow some balls, man. Grow some balls and stand there and jab and make sure back this guy up off of you. But nah, man, like, look, I take so much, bro. I was so angry after watching that, bro. I waste my time watching that last night. Waste my time. And Teofimo Lopez, okay, he did his thing.
On the other hand, Ryan Garcia made it clear that he's willing to fight anyone. He emphasized that it now depends on the fans and who they want to see him face next. Whether it's a rematch with Rolly Romero or a showdown with Devin Haney, Garcia says he's ready for either anytime.
A rematch with Devin or vice versa?
Oh man, that's a good question. You know, whatever the fans want. They want me to, you know.
As the boxing world reels from the shocking outcome of the Rolly Romero versus Ryan Garcia fight, a resurfaced video of Floyd Mayweather is now going viral. In the footage, recorded nearly 6 years ago, Mayweather can be heard confidently predicting the outcome, and even offering Ryan Garcia $200,000 in cash if he managed to beat Rolly.
Ryan Garcia, do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm putting the money up right now. If Ryan Garcia can beat Rolly, I give him $200,000 cash. Less fights than he has. He's gonna fight Rolly. Accept the bout with Rolly. I give him $200,000 cash if he beat Rolly. Now, once he loses to Rolly, I don't want him to ever say Tank name again. He gonna get fucked up.
When it came to trolling Ryan Garcia, Conor Benn didn't hold back. He took a personal jab, saying Ryan had lost his title as king, and mockingly referred to him as Queen Ryan, calling him more of a character and an Instagram boxer than a real fighter. Benn also took a sarcastic swipe at Garcia's ongoing lawsuit, suggesting that whatever momentum Ryan had built was lost in the fight against Raleigh, and that he needs to accept the reality of his defeat.
He's a character. He's got personality.
Well, what you've been calling him?
Queen Ryan.
Yeah, Queen Ryan. Explain that.
Queen Ryan.
What's going on
He's
there?
just a diva, isn't he? He's just a diva, just a pretty boy Instagram boxer.
Okay.
But he's a pretty good one.
He's a pretty damn good one,
He's
isn't
a
he?
pretty good one. Don't look at Haney. I don't fancy a lawsuit, man.
Okay.
Forget the ability. I just can't see past filing for battery. Anyone's come to me and gone, yeah, we've got to file a lawsuit for battery. I've gone, mate, you dare. If you do that on my behalf, you're sacked. Like, no one is filing no lawsuit on battery. You think life is fair? Life ain't fair. But you got your ass handed to you. You got an ass beating. That's it. Accept it. Move on.
Meanwhile, legendary promoter Bob Arum also weighed in on Ryan Garcia's surprising loss to Rolly Romero. In addition to citing Garcia's year-long absence from the ring, Arum criticized the lack of a strategic comeback plan. He suggested that instead of jumping straight into a high-stakes fight with Rolly, Garcia should have taken a tune-up bout first. Arum didn't hold back, also taking aim at Garcia's promoters, accusing them of being motivated purely by money rather than guiding his career wisely.
You know, has been off a whole year, and you know, this is a lack of real planning. He should have had a tune-up fight first, and then go into a fight with a guy like Romero. But you know, these fighters and the promoters get turned by the money, and they don't make really good decisions. A good decision would have been to take a tune-up fight, and then, you know, then you move to a Romero or even a Haney or so forth. You don't go right in after a year.
Bob Arum stood by his view that Ryan Garcia should have taken a tune-up fight before facing Rolly Romero. While he didn't directly blame anyone, he hinted that someone at Golden Boy Promotions may have advised against the bout. Arum criticized the decision-makers for prioritizing money over Garcia's preparation. He also pointed to Turki Alalshik as a key influence behind the matchup.
Absolutely. But, you know, you can't blame, without knowing the background, you can't blame anybody, because it may very well be that the people at Golden Boy were telling Garcia, don't go into a fight like this, take a tune-up fight, get yourself back in the ring and so forth. I mean, anybody who knows boxing would tell Garcia that's what he should do. But I guess the money that Turkey put up was so big that they decided to go for the money. But that doesn't make any sense.
Echoing similar views, Amir Khan weighed in, suggesting that a tune-up fight could have helped boost Ryan Garcia's energy and readiness. He emphasized that Ryan has the talent and determination to become a top champion, but stressed the importance of proper planning and career management moving forward.
Ryan's performance, I mean, I think he should have had a tune-up fight in between, being at the ring for such a long time, and then having that time at the ring. I don't think he lives that champion's lifestyle. You know, so I mean, look, he's a lovely guy, don't get me wrong, I got a lot of time for Ryan, but I just feel like maybe this is a good wake-up call for him now, that he goes back to drawing board and he starts again, because he's still young, he's still got the hunger and the fire in his belly that he can go and win world titles again and be the number one. Look, in my opinion, he can be the number one in the division. I thought that Devin Haney was going to lead that division, then obviously when Ryan beat Devin, I thought, there's only two guys who I think will lead the division now. It's either Ryan Garcia or Teofimo Lopez.
At the same time, Ryan Garcia's promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, shared his disappointment, calling the loss a shame. He echoed the belief that the one-year layoff affected Garcia's performance. However, De La Hoya expressed confidence that Ryan will bounce back and show his true potential in his next fight.
Little gun shy, you know, that year off, you know.
What do you
all
think?
that power from Rollies, but he'll be back to the drawing board, and you know,
How devastating?
He'll live to see another day. That's it.
While many view the loss as devastating for Ryan Garcia, Oscar holds a different perspective. He praised Garcia for going the full 12 rounds and staying composed, noting that Ryan knew what he had to do. Regarding a potential rematch with Devin Haney, De La Hoya insisted it will happen eventually because, in his words, it needs to.
How devastating of a loss is this for Ryan, man?
Not devastating at all. At all. Win 12 rounds. He knows he's way better than that. He knows what he has to do. He knows what he has to do. So.
Do you think that the Devin Haney fight probably off the table? Do you think that, or?
It'll be back.
How do you?
It has to happen.
Sharing his thoughts on a potential rematch, Eddie Hearn stated that the performance between Rolly and Ryan doesn't define their futures, but admitted that the much-hyped rematch with Devin Haney has lost momentum and likely won't be as big as originally anticipated.
I don't know. I mean, they're all good fights. You know, I don't think last night can determine everybody's future, but you know, it certainly didn't. You know, it affected the rematch. It doesn't make it as big.
Meanwhile, Eddie also slammed Ryan Garcia for delivering a poor performance, emphasizing that in a fight of this magnitude, a fighter needs to be fully locked in, something he felt was completely missing from Ryan's end.
I did say that. I think that when you fight in that environment, you've got to make sure you're switched on. And he said after, it's a bit like a sparring session, but you've got to be professional enough to go in and do that, you know? So, yeah, poor performance.
Showbiz the Adult, while analyzing Ryan Garcia's fighting style, pointed out noticeable flaws during his bout with Rolly Romero. He drew a comparison to what he previously called the bow and arrow effect in Devin Haney's technique, noting that he observed a similar pattern in Ryan's performance. Showbiz reminded Garcia that he has consistently warned him against relying too heavily on that style, urging him to make necessary adjustments.
I talked about Devin Haney, bow and arrow effect. I brought it up all day long. Because even though Devin Haney was accusing of Ryan Garcia for intentionally taking PEDs to be victorious in their fight, right? I said, well, take the responsibility of what you can do to make the appropriate changes. And I brought up the bow and arrow effect. And we did this all day long. I got one for Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia. I've been begging you for years, bruh, to not lean back and put those hands out like this here.
Showbiz went on to stress that Ryan Garcia needs to take responsibility for the bow and arrow effect, which he believes has caused him significant trouble. In his view, if Ryan doesn't make improvements in this aspect of his style, he will continue to face criticism and be mocked for the long haul.
I promise you, Ryan Garcia, take the responsibility, all right, to not crank that soldier boy. Put that in your head, brother. Now, if you acknowledge the fact that you've been cranking that soldier boy, and that's a bad look, then the war room, we're going to just say good shit. I did the same thing with Devin the American Dream Haney.
Reflecting on Rolly Romero's victory, Showbiz highlighted key factors in Rolly's game plan that contributed to his success against Ryan Garcia. On the other hand, he criticized Garcia for lacking a serious strategy, pointing out that he didn't utilize key punches like the uppercut or left hook. Showbiz argued that this allowed Rolly to gain the upper hand, ultimately knocking Garcia down in the second round. He even went as far as to say that Rolly anticipated Garcia's moves, taking advantage of his weaknesses.
To protect that left hook. And with his front hand, he kept it out just like that to protect him from the right hand. So he either protected himself like this, threw some feints, stomped him jab low, and protected himself just like this. You know, he'll hop back because he's the GOAT. He'll either do that or he'll take that lead hand away and make Ryan Garcia throw the right and he'll roll it. So all he had to do was worry about this and the straight right. He was getting hit with the jab all night, but he didn't care about that. It was up to Ryan Garcia to throw combinations, to take risks, to throw a variety of punches like uppercuts, overhand rights, right? A left to the body. He didn't do any of those things. Maybe a jab, jab. No right hand to the body. None of those things. He was just pot shotting. So all Rolly had to do after dropping Ryan Garcia and, must I say, intimidating Ryan Garcia. After that intimidation factor, he only had to worry about the left hook, which he was mostly comfortable with, and just making sure he avoided a right hand just in case.
Wade Plemons, reacting to the fight, noted that Rolly Romero truly proved himself by executing his game plan efficiently. He pointed out that, amidst all the talk about a Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney rematch, Rolly managed to surprise everyone. Clemens criticized Garcia for not showing up in his best form, explaining that he had been anticipating Ryan's lack of readiness heading into the fight.
A Devin Haney rematch. In the main event, in the middle of Times Square, he beats Ryan, not just on the scorecards, but he just wanted to win. And he had a good game plan, and he executed it, but Ryan Garcia was not here tonight. I said it on Twitter. I don't know who the guy was that entered the ring after riding around in a Batmobile in royal blue with King Rye on his shorts, but it wasn't Ryan Garcia, because this guy that I saw in the main event was a different person. And as a fighter, not in a good way.
Wade pointed out how expectations completely shifted leading up to the fight. He noted that Ryan Garcia had been the center of much talk, with the potential rematch against Devin Haney stealing the spotlight. However, Ryan didn't deliver on the hype. On the other hand, Wade praised Rolly Romero for proving his earlier predictions right with an incredible performance.
Watching what Ryan did to Devin Haney, after watching Rolly get put down twice, Rolly's 2-2 in his last 4. After winning a belt, this guy may not be the same dude anymore, speaking about Rolly. And where's his mental at after, 2 tough losses, after he was doing well in those fights? We may not need to put any stock in that spar from all those years ago because they're different fighters now. Is his mind even in it? Is he the same guy? Is he taking it serious anymore? Is he even world level? All these things. And then you come into fight week, Ryan's looking in shape, Ryan's looking this way, Ryan's gonna fight Devin after he wins, Devin at the press conference, me separating Bill and Oscar. It all seems to be working out toward it, except if you look over to my left while this is all going on and you look at Rolly Romero, you see him kick back with his feet up. And you hear his words talking about this fight, how he predicted he'd fight Ryan at welterweight, how he predicted that he would beat Ryan Garcia, and then Ryan and Devin can rematch anyway. That's fine. Go and have your rematch. I'm going to beat you first, but go and have your rematch. And sure as shit, Rolly Romero did just.
Clemens went on to offer full praise for Rolly Romero, noting how he stuck to a solid game plan, outworking Ryan Garcia round by round. He acknowledged that it may not have been Rolly's most spectacular performance, but he still secured the win simply by executing a well-thought-out strategy.
And he outlanded him, and he outmuscled him, and he outpowered him, and he dropped him. Complete fight. And it wasn't Rolly's best performance. It wasn't. It wasn't even a necessarily great performance from Rolly, but it was a great game plan, and he did what he needed to do to win. Teofimo Lopez's performance is probably the best one of the night, but Rolly's game plan was perfect.
Shannon Briggs also expressed deep disappointment over Ryan Garcia's loss, harshly criticizing his performance. He argued that Garcia isn't a true fighter, slamming him for relying too much on hype around his left hook and jab. Briggs also condemned Garcia for making controversial, racially insensitive remarks in the past, only to fall short when it was time to back up his talk in the ring.
Your boy, what's his name? Garcia? Retire. Retire. Worst fighter ever. Garcia, the worst fighter in boxing history, because he shagged everybody with a jab and a check hook. You know what I'm saying? He got good fundamentals, like some shit is decent. He got to keep his hands up and all that, but he ain't no fighter, yo. All that drama shit he be doing, all that racist shit he be doing, and then to come back and fight like that. You lost to Rolly. Rolly not even a. Yo, man. Boxing is crazy. Boxing is crazy right now. If those are superstars, then what? If that's what we got, the man.
Just like Shannon, Chris Algieri reacted to the fight by noting that both fighters showed vulnerabilities, emphasizing that much of it comes down to the mental state of the boxer. He pointed out that Ryan Garcia may have been thrown off by the outdoor ring setup, as fighters often perform best in familiar environments at their own pace. Algieri also expressed surprise at how well Rolly Romero performed, admitting that Rolly proved not only the critics, but even him wrong.
Both guys are super explosive, both guys have power, but also mentally, where are the guys at? And Ryan just didn't look like he was really in the fight. Didn't look like he wanted to be there. I heard that he had mentioned that fighting outdoors was a bit of an issue for him, which, hey, I mean, everybody was outdoors, but I get it. I get it. It can change the way what you're used to. Fighters are creatures of habit. But I don't know. I don't know where Ryan goes from here. But Rolly, man, I tip my hat to him. I was wrong. I did not think he was going to win that fight. Most people didn't. That was the most disciplined I've ever seen him fight. He's a player. He's a player now. You know, I think he hits hard enough. He's obviously he's got some discipline now. We showed that. I don't know what weight class he's going to end up in, but I was surprised, but I'm happy for him.
Chris also noted that this fight was an opportunity for Ryan Garcia to clear the doubts surrounding allegations of PED use, but failing to do so could now bring its own consequences.
About Ryan, and this is what he looks like off PEDs. And is that fair, unfair? How do you honestly react
Whether it's
to it?
fair or it's not, that's going to be discussed. And listen, he had an opportunity to really put that in the rear view. If he had won the fight and looked good doing it, people would have been like, oh, okay, well, you know, he's clean this time, so maybe that wasn't a fluke last time. But now, when you see him look so listless, not as explosive, not as snappy, not as clean, it makes you think, like, is that because of the ostarine that was in his system last time? Was he doing that prior to the fight? It's just going to raise all those questions back up again. And whether it's fair or it's not, I mean, it's reality.
While Raleigh's performance came as a surprise to many, Jeff Mayweather said he wasn't shocked at all, claiming he had already seen it coming.
No, I wasn't really surprised about either outcome. I thought that Rolly, if anyone, you know, had a chance of probably getting beat, was probably Rolly, and I think everybody thought that. But at the same time, I always said that he has a puncher's chance, no matter what, and that's exactly what happened.
So there you have it. Ryan Garcia's shocking loss, Rolly Romero's rise, and the boxing world absolutely buzzing with reactions. Turns out posting Instagram combos doesn't win real fights. Ryan Garcia talked the talk, but when the bell rang, he got walked down. All that crown talk, gone. All that king energy, evaporated. If you're still riding the Ryan hype train, might be time to jump off. Smash that like button if you saw this coming, drop a comment if you think he can bounce back, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates. Until next time, stay tuned.